Well, I told you about coming out. That's all I did.
Surely you won't part with this, Holmes.
Ah, yes. A present from the reigning family of Holland some years ago. I have no further use for it. You may give it to the poor.
What would the poor do with it?
Become rich, perhaps. I'm retiring, Watson, once and for all. The farmhouse that I purchased in Sussex is very small. There's no room for all of this.
If that's the way you want it.
This I will keep.
I never pictured you keeping bees in Sussex, Holmes.
Where, then?
I never saw you in the middle of a swarm of bees.
Well, I have to do something now that my detecting days are over. And besides, the mind is not quite as keen as it once was.
Nonsense.
I doubt if the bees will notice.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but this just arrived by messenger, Mr. Holmes.
I'll give it to Dr. Watson, will you, Mrs. Hudson?
Thank you, Mrs. Hudson.
I don't know what I'll be doing here without you after all these years.
There, Mrs. Hudson. I'm sure you'll find another tenant.
That's not what I meant.
Holmes, it seems your presence is requested at Windsor Castle by His Majesty.
Well, what on earth could King Edward want with me?
Some honey, perhaps?
Sherlock, I am speaking of the Star of Africa. His Majesty will give you full particulars. I am only here as a member of his civil service.
At Mycroft, I am retiring.
You have never been retiring.
You know perfectly well what I mean.
Oh, yes, bees. If there's one thing Sussex has no need of, it is more bees. Through here.
Your approval and seal are also required. I will await you.
Mr. Holmes, we are so glad that you're here.
It is an honor, Your Majesty. May I present my brother, Sherlock?
I'm honored, sir.
We are proud to tell you that in the next honors list, you may expect to see your name.
Sir, I undertake the task for the task's own sake. I require no recompense beyond that. I must respectfully decline the honor. I wish to retire in anonymity to a quiet country life.
Oh, yes, bees. Well, the bees can wait. We have need of your services. Now, the African Cape Colony is about to ship its largest, most perfectly shaped diamond, the Star of Africa, to England as a gift to the crown. But your brother tells us he has reason to believe there might be trouble when Britain tries to remove the stone from the country.
A pagan tribe, the Matabele, think of themselves as guardians of the stone and look upon the diamond as their own. They owned it at one time or another, I believe. At any rate, His Majesty would like you to go to Cape Town and supervise the stone's transfer and transport.
Your Majesty might do better sending a company of the Grenadier Guards.
They're there already. But your brother's come up with an ingenious plan. Lord Milner will turn over the stone to you for your inspection. You will then turn it over to the Grenadiers. But in reality, you will hand them a perfect replica of the stone which Lord Milner will have supplied to you. No one but you and Milner will have any knowledge of the ruse, so that if any thieves, whether they be Matabele or just plain scoundrels, attempt to steal the diamond, they will go after the imitation. The real Star of Africa will travel to England in your pocket.
As Your Majesty pleases.
So what did you do? Well, I saw the bloke coming out the window, I did.
Quinine? Chlorodyne? Magnesia? Aspirin. Passports. Holmes, we must hurry.
On my word, Watson, you're worse than a wife.
Now then, have a wonderful voyage, both of you. There's some sandwiches for the train.
Thank you, Mrs. Hudson.
What are you waiting for, Watson? We must go.
What shall I do with all this accumulation?
Oh, give it away, Holmes.
Keep it until I return.
We came to the moment when we're reunited. Well, you could have heard a pin drop. He kissed me. And an old dear in the front row said, "Oh," so loudly, that I couldn't say my next line for laughing so much. Henry had to come. I mustn't monopolize you. Off you go to your lovely ladies.
Excuse me, madam. You look so familiar. I thought perhaps we might have mutual friends.
I haven't heard that one for a long time.
Oh, you don't think that I... Please be assured.
It's quite all right. Sometimes people honestly do mistake me for an acquaintance. You see, I have been upon the stage.
Oh. Would I have seen you in something?
No, probably not. I'm sure you're a very busy man.
The lady is overly modest. Watson, you have the honor of addressing Lady de Bath, known to the world as...
Lily Langtry. My goodness. I saw you in Mademoiselle Mars and in She Stoops to Conquer. You were wonderful. What a pleasure. Oh, and forgive me. I'm Dr. John Watson, and this is...
Mr. Sherlock Holmes. On your way to the Dark Continent to save a damsel in distress?
If I were, I could only hope that she were 1/10 as beautiful as yourself.
I'm so glad you could join me.
I was quite surprised to receive your note. Pleasantly surprised, I may add.
Well, I'm delighted. I desperately wanted to get you here, but no.
Well, so you have.
I have to ask you something very personal.
Dear lady, you can ask me anything.
You're sure it's all right?
Rest assured. Nothing's too personal to ask me. I'm a doctor.
All right, but I fear you'll think me brazen.
Never. Now go on. Be brave.
All right. Do you think Mr. Sherlock Holmes finds me attractive? Have you been to the Cape of Good Hope before, Mr. Holmes?
No, this is my very first visit.
Are you here on business or pleasure?
Well, I do have a little business to take care of.
Oh. If you have time for a little pleasure, I do hope you'll think of me.
Dear lady, I fear that business must prevail.
Of course.
Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson, I'm Milner, Governor General. Welcome, my friend, to the Cape of Good Hope colony.
A pleasure, Lord Milner.
How do you do, sir?
This way, gentlemen.
Company! Present! Arms!
What a magnificent spot. I never realized that such a beautiful array of flora grew down here.
Ah, yes. The Dark Continent is very light and airy after all.
And what of the fauna? We're not liable to run into a pride of lions near the hotel, I hope.
Not unless you venture to the zoo. Mr. Holmes, are you interested in flora and fauna?
Yes. One species in particular.
Yes.
Bees.
Ah, Signor Marconi. Allow me to introduce such distinguished gentlemen to one another. Mr. Sherlock Holmes, Dr. John Watson, Signor Guglielmo Marconi.
Very pleased to meet you. How do you do, sir? Congratulations on your recent Nobel Prize.
Prego, prego.
What brings you to South Africa, sir?
I am midway on a journey introducing wireless telegraphy to the world.
Signor Marconi has been at several recent meetings in Government House, looking at installing a wireless system to enable us to communicate with ships at sea.
How exciting.
Might we see a demonstration of this invention?
Certainly, I will arrange it. Arrivederci.
No one will see us together. So be on your way.
I want to be with you.
Soon. Go.
Sherlock Holmes. Dr. Watson. A distinct honor. I'm Stanley Bullard, under manager of the Cape Castle Hotel at your service. I've read of all your exploits with great admiration.
You're very kind.
Dr. Watson, you have such a knack for capturing the atmosphere of the adventures.
Oh, thank you.
But in the recently published Adventure of Wisteria Lodge, I did notice a slight discrepancy.
Discrepancy?
Slight. You state the adventure took place in 1892.
Yes.
But you've earlier stated that Mr. Holmes disappeared without a trace at Reichenbach Falls in 1891, not to be seen again for 3 years.
Yes. Well, there are some facts that I'm not at liberty to reveal. So I have to disguise them.
Ah.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoy your stay.
Intelligent fellow, that. Well informed, too.
A bit uppity, if you ask me.
Yes?
Is this the house of Ramdullah?
Yes, he's my grandfather. I'm Uma.
Hello, Uma. Is your grandfather home?
I'll see.
May I help you?
Ramdullah.
That is I.
I am told you're the best locksmith in the Cape Colony.
You've been told correctly.
A man of great talent and discretion.
I pride myself on both.
Then pray tell, why do you live in such poverty?
Forgive me.
I'm sorry if I offended you. I meant no harm. See, I am here to make you a rich man with, say, 20,000 pounds in your pocket.
I have no time for idle dreams.
Oh, this is a dream, Ramdullah. This is a dream, but a very real one. I'm talking about the Star of Africa.
It's amazingly fine. If it were not for the slight distortion running through the right quadrant, I would not know it was an imitation.
Distortion? What distortion?
Look for yourself.
I can make out no distortion.
There.
Well, let us hope that any would-be thieves would not observe it. Now, take a look at this.
Truly magnificent.
So, I go to the safe to get the stone, give it to you to examine.
I conceal the real one and hand over the counterfeit to the guardsman.
Good. Thank you. Where's the other?
The other? Oh, the other one. Excuse me. A slight deception that I learned from John Maskelyne, the magician.
Yes, but which is the real stone?
That one.
Are you sure?
As sure as rain must fall.
Ah, good. It hasn't rained here in months.
Just so. Now, would you be good enough to tell me the history of the Star of Africa and why the Matabele regard it as their own?
It was once their own. Towards the end of the Second Matabele War in 1896, Lord Roberts led the British troops who came to put down the uprising by King Lobengula's army in Matabele land. In Lobengula's royal kraal, they found a treasure. All of it apparently stolen or extorted by King Lobengula's armies over the years from unwary travelers passing through those lands Lobengula claimed as his own. Shameful horde. The troops were taking the treasure to the fort at Salisbury when Lobengula's forces slaughtered them and retook the treasure. It's never been seen again by white men. But when a company of British soldiers arrived to retrieve their bodies, they found, grasped in the hand of one of their compatriots, the incredible stone we have since come to call the Star of Africa. Soon, it will be in the hands of our sovereign, King Edward, where it rightfully belongs, forever.
Falls, please.
Attention! All inbound trains connecting with Rhodesian Railways and destined for points north are now on schedule.
That's £10, sir.
Please begin boarding on track number 2 at this time.
I hear something. Just wait. I'm sure I can do better. There. You hear it? Yes. It is the steamer, Daughter of the Sea, off the coast of British West Africa. She is calling to another ship.
A distress signal?
No, merely exchanging greetings.
How far can the waves reach?
Well, these are long waves. That means...
They reach a long way, no doubt.
No, just the reverse, I'm afraid. That is compared to short waves, which reach much further, you see.
Clear as mud.
What distance can the signal travel?
I have skipped waves off the stratosphere that have skipped thousands of miles, but I cannot control that, you understand. Normally, perhaps 300 to 400 miles.
Talk to you.
you must.
I saw you in the garden.
So?
You know what I mean.
No, I don't. Do you?
Are you having an affair with him?
Oh, for God's sake, are you going to have another jealous fit?
I didn't bring you here to humiliate me.
Constantine, please. You have nothing to fear.
Keep away from him, or else I cannot be held responsible for my actions.
What do you mean by that?
He could wake up one of these mornings, quite dead.
Good gracious. I didn't mean you to serve me, Mr. Bullard.
I'm delighted to do so, Lady Debar. Actually, I never expected to have such an honor. It also allows me the opportunity to spend a moment alone with you.
Oh, thank you so much. Allow me to serve. And join me.
Certainly not. I would never be allowed to join a hotel guest for tea. It wouldn't be proper. And especially not with a lady. I remain your humble servant.
Someone should invent a collar attached to the shirt.
This is our idea.
Oh my goodness, it really is you. It is you, isn't it? They told me you were here, but I just couldn't believe them. Oh, what a pleasure it is to meet you. If it is you, that is. Oh, I forgot my autograph book. Oh, and you must be you, if you are you.
My dear, I believe we're bothering the gentleman.
Oh my goodness. I'm terribly, terribly sorry. I never meant to bother you at all. Please, could you ever forgive me?
No need to apologize, dear lady. No need at all. It's just nice to make your acquaintance.
Well, I think we've detained the gentleman quite enough. Go along.
Yes, of course. Oh, but I do hope we meet again, and then perhaps you could sign my autograph book, because that would be wonderful.
I would be honored.
Thank you.
Amelia, shall we go?
Sorry.
Dinner time.
I rather lost my appetite.
I cannot stand another minute with him. He's a fat pig.
It'll not be long now, and you'll never have to see him ever again.
He threatened me. He threatened to kill you.
Well, two can play at that game.
Hold up. This damn hole is dangerous. Roof could go at any minute. Shut up.
How much further? Not long now.
It is at least 20 feet more. We cannot go any further without shoring up the section.
Haven't got time. Dig!
It is too dangerous. You want the Star of Africa or you want to die in a cave?
Lord God, help us! Get out of law!
Anything wrong, Holmes?
No, Watson, nothing at all. Just letting the cat out.
We've hit it! It's the wall, man! That's it! That's the outer wall! Yes, that should be got it? Go on. Keep moving, that's it! Through! We made it! We're in!
Just one moment. You want me to open the safe? Not one of you can do it.
Get on with it.
Then why should not I get a full share of the proceeds, like the rest of you, instead of only 20,000 pounds?
Ramdullah, you betray my trust in you. We made an agreement, you and I. And you would dishonor it?
You get a full share, do you not? And you? And you? And you?
All right, Ramdullah. You get a full share. Now, the safe.
Holmes. Dr. Watson, this is Superintendent Henry Van Meer, Cape Town Police.
How do you do?
It is my honor, as the Governor-General of the Union of South Africa, to present to His Majesty King Edward the most beautiful, brilliant, and perfect blue-white diamond ever found in the world, the Star of Africa.
Good heavens.
I'll take care of it. I'm a doctor. Too late, Holmes. I'll take over.
The stone. What of the Star of Africa?
God.
The jewel is gone.
Seal the door. No one is to leave the room.
Are you saying that one of us did this?
It is possible.
The poor fellow was dead and the diamond gone when we entered the vault.
That proves nothing. An Indian.
Low caste. Perhaps Harijan, the sweeper.
I can't believe it. It's not possible.
But with the hands of a craftsman. Those marks in blood seem to be intentional. Made by the dead man's own hand.
As he died, he reached out to us with a message. He seems to have written the letters S-I-H.
Possibly. The scarf that strangled him has 5 knots and is weighted with coins.
Strange.
Mr. Holmes, I would appreciate it if you'd investigate this affair at once.
If you please, Lord Milner. This is my jurisdiction. Or do you not think me competent to conduct this investigation?
Of course, my good man. But Mr. Holmes was sent from England to take charge of the diamond. I'm afraid his authority must supersede that of your own.
If I can be of any assistance, Superintendent Van Meer, you can count on me.
Assistance? I'd be delighted. Now, this was obviously an inside job. No signs of a forced entry. The thieves obviously gained entrance with a key. They must have known the combination of the safe. The finger of suspicion points but to one man. Guards, arrest that man. Take him up to my office for questioning.
Just one little thing, Superintendent, before you hang that unfortunate fellow from the nearest tree. Watson, would you assist me? No forced entry, Superintendent?
Holmes, they must have tunneled their way in.
Hand me the lantern. What are you hoping to identify there? Earthworms?
Fragmentary print made by the toe of a boot. Clay composition, heavy in potassium chlorides. Perhaps we should speak with the owner of this property.
Not necessary. He knows nothing of this.
Can you be sure of that?
I'm quite certain, Mr. Holmes.
I would like to speak with him in any case.
The owner of this property, sir, is I.
Whoa, boy, whoa.
Van Meer, have you identified the body?
Nope.
But wouldn't you make that a priority?
Not necessary. We have the killer. He can identify it. This is the murderer. Identified by the victim himself. Tell it all, Hillary.
There's nothing to tell, sir. As I explained to this gentleman at some length.
Nothing indeed. This is Samuel Hillary, a clerk in the tax collector's department. He works in Government House, and he has a key to the vault.
I don't know the combination of the inner safe, sir.
So you say. And he cannot account for his whereabouts on the night in question.
That's not true, sir. I was at the pub, like I said.
A barmaid does not remember you.
Well, I'm just not very memorable, sir.
He is known to owe money to certain disreputable gamblers and the coup de grace. The victim scrawled Samuel Hillary's initials in his own blood as he lay dying on the floor of the vault.
Most interesting data. Hillary, what is your middle name?
Aloysius, sir.
You can prove that, I suppose.
Oh, yes? It's on my baptismal certificate. My school records, my church register, and my government identification.
Take it away.
Surely the initials that we read in the safe were S-I-H.
They were hard to identify. You said so yourself.
I have a copy here. Does that look to you like S-A-H?
Does not look much like an A, I grant you. But it could have been an unintentional scrawl by the dying man. And the first letter most certainly is an S, and the last letter an H. And Samuel Hillary's initials are S-H.
And do you know anyone else with those initials who had access to the vault prior to the discovery of the body?
No. I have gone over the entire records of all the people who work at Government House. Not one other.
Ah, but there is one person with those initials who was in the vault with the safe open the day before and who held the Star of Africa in his hand. Someone who, without any knowledge of the tunnel to your farm, could have made a duplicate of Lord Milner's key, could have got into the vault, opened the safe, killed his companion, stolen the stone, and gone merrily on his way. And here is the coup de grace. That person's initials are S-H.
Where is this villain? I will arrest him at once.
I await your handcuffs.
Well, how did it go today?
Van Meer makes Lestrade look positively brilliant.
Gentlemen, may I order you an aperitif?
That's very nice. I'll have a whiskey. How about you, Holmes?
Permit me. I think Mr. Holmes might prefer a brandy and soda.
And how did you deduce that, young man?
I recalled it from Dr. Watson's account of the adventure of Wisteria Lodge.
Oh.
You have a very impressive memory.
I suppose I tend to cling to things that remind me of Mother England.
Yes, yes, of course.
I prowled around on my own today and found a carriage and horses, tethered and ready, parked outside the back door of the hotel each night in case of emergency.
Well?
Well, the stable boy told me that for several nights running, the carriage was gone. So it seems that the carriage leaves the hotel late every night and returns each morning before the stable boy awakes.
Excellent, Watson. Well done. Do you know who took it?
Afraid not. Nobody knows.
Or who was missing from his room?
How do you do? Ladies, good evening. I hope you enjoy your stay.
Mr. Holmes, is there something I can do for you?
Yes, you can join me.
No, sir, I couldn't. I'm not allowed to.
Nonsense. I've ordered your favorite drink.
Whiskey and soda? How did you know that? Oh, of course, I was forgetting to whom I was speaking. Well, sir, perhaps this once would be an honor.
Now, you seem to know a great deal about me. Tell me something about yourself.
Well, surely you can see my life on my sleeve. In my calluses, on my shoes, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Perhaps a thread of information. With your permission, of course.
Oh, I would be honored.
Your father, who came from a high-born family, was a struggling merchant with a business in Yorkshire.
Incredible.
You refused to join the army, as was expected of you, and so you became an actor. But an actor's life was too precarious for you, and so you joined the Merchant Marine, came to South Africa, and fought against the Boers.
Mr. Holmes, you are every bit as amazing as legend has it. Yorkshire it was. The business was fish, actually. My older brother did indeed inherit. Actor. Yes, that says it well.
And you've been here more than 10 years.
15. I spent some time prospecting for gold, and a short stretch as an engineer before the war. Later, I took on this less hazardous and rigorous way of life at the Cape Castle. Does that tell you everything that you wish to know?
Oh, yes, and more. That man has something to hide. Everything he told me was a lie. Everything I told him was a lie. I said Yorkshire when it was quite obviously Lancashire. He said fish when it was most definitely books. I said Merchant Marine when any fool could see that it was quite obviously the cavalry. And he told me I was correct.
He was trying to trap the great Sherlock Holmes.
Perhaps, but I think not. Watson, I must get the police to check on his story, and you must watch his every move.
Good day to you. And good day to you, Jessie.
Thank you.
Come on, come on. There you are. Yes. Yes.
Lovely.
Jackson.
Yes, sir?
Jackson, tell stables to get the carriage ready, please.
Right away, sir.
Tell Cephas to pick some flowers.
Very good, sir. Excuse me.
Good day. My wife and I certainly have enjoyed our stay here.
So pleased to hear.
The bill, please.
So, would you be checking out?
This is it.
Ah, Cephas.
Good day,
Very
sir.
nice. I'll take those. Dr. Watson. Good day to you, sir.
Clement weather for the time of day.
Yes, yes.
I need a carriage.
Yes, sir. Have one around the front in 5 minutes.
No time. Must be immediately. It's an urgent matter of state.
Yes, sir. Follow me, sir.
Have a good ride, sir.
Thank you.
Off you go.
Come on.
Follow that carriage. Stay well behind. And don't let him see us. Pull the horses up over there. Stop here. Stay there.
You look radiant, my dear.
You're sure this is all accurate?
Absolutely, sir.
And you haven't spoken to Superintendent von Meer about it?
No, sir, as you said.
Good. Thank you.
I'm shocked, utterly shocked.
They didn't see you.
No, they were far too preoccupied to notice anything.
No doubt.
What of your inquiries?
My suspicions were well founded, Watson. It seems the local police have absolutely no record of the existence of Stanley Bullard prior to his service at the hotel. And I'm beginning to think I just might know his identity.
Stop this bickering! Leave Chandra Sen. And as for you...
And what might that be?
What was that?
And who might Bullard be?
I have formulated a plan to find out. Ah, Lady de Bath. How nice to see you.
And you, Mr. Holmes. Dr. Watson.
How do you do, ma'am?
I've noticed you dining alone these past nights, and I wondered if you'd care to have dinner with me tonight.
I'd be delighted, but I wouldn't want to intrude.
It would be no intrusion at all.
Certainly not, especially in light of the fact that Dr. Watson already has a previous engagement to dine with Signor Marconi.
Eh?
Oh. Well, in that case, I'd be very happy to accept.
What previous engagement was that?
One of which I pray you will give Signor Marconi my regrets.
Cheer up, my little one. You know you're the apple of my eye. I've got something for you. Go on, put it on. You see how it sparkles just for you? I'm sorry about the things I said.
You mean it?
I will never say anything unpleasant to you ever again.
It's exquisite.
Will you marry me?
Constantine, I've told you. I cannot marry you or any man. I still mourn for my late husband, the Maharaja.
I cannot understand how any man could take his own life while married to a creature as lovely as you.
I'm so excited about being here. I can't wait to see the falls. Just imagine our own Niagara here in the dark continent. Thank you. And I'm absolutely starving. I hope they have something that I can eat. Not one of those ostrich eggs or something.
Bon appetit.
Amelia, must you chatter incessantly?
In hundreds of meters. But in dealing with waves less than 1 meter, using the ionosphere, we can obtain equally long ranges using much less power. In addition, these waves have highly directional properties, which can make their use possibly more private. Of course, one will have to make use of thermionic valves, which are hardly perfected, but the potential remains significant.
Thermionic. Prune, senor?
He's an inscrutable one. I wonder what he's doing in Africa. Maybe he stole your diamond.
Perhaps.
And there's an unlikely pair. I wonder what she sees in him. Except for a surfeit of drachmas.
You have something informative to say about everybody, don't you?
I once met her late husband, the Maharaja of Jabalpur. He was her match physically. Oh, yes. He was a gorgeous man. But unfortunately a sad case. Drank himself to excess, gambled away his entire fortune, and then, eventually, shot himself in the temple. Left, I think.
what you make of Captain and Mrs. Morrison.
It is rumored that she is the third cousin to an ex-president of the United States. Possibly the product of too much inbreeding. You're trying to trick me into giving you information, aren't you?
Would I do that, Miss Langtry?
Of course you would, Mr. Holmes. Now, your turn. What have you learned about the diamond? Who murdered that poor man? What was he doing in the safe, and who was he, for that matter?
I make it a practice never to theorize until I have all the data.
Well, you must have learned something. Will we ever see that beautiful diamond again?
I think I can promise you one thing. You do not have to worry about the Star of Africa.
That's not fair, teasing me like that. Whatever do you mean?
I can say no more for the present.
If you're not nice to me, I shall tell Edward on you. And then again, if you are very nice to me, I shall ask him to knight you. So which is it to be?
I suppose as a friend of His Majesty, you can trust him.
Of course I can.
Look in my hand.
Oh. Could it be?
The government had a false stone made to match the real one. And I was supposed to switch them at the presentation ceremony. Instead, I switched them the day before.
Oh, you mean?
Indeed, the thieves stole.
The imitation? Oh, my God.
Promise not to tell a soul.
Who would I tell?
Precisely.
It was a delightful dinner. Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
The doctor and I are attending a music hall performance tonight. I'm told it's a little bit risque for ladies' ears, but perhaps you would care to join us.
Oh, my ears have heard much worse things than music hall songs. But I must decline your invitation. I'm going to my bed.
I quite understand, Miss Langtry. Good night.
Good night. I must tell you of the most extraordinary turn of events.
We are armed, Mr. Bullard.
Touché, Mr. Holmes.
Watson.
It's not on his person.
Where is it, then?
Ah, that would be telling.
It is still here. With a note. Though he might be more humble, there is no police like Holmes. As I thought, Watson, meet A.J. Raffles.
Raffles? The master cracksman.
None other.
But I thought he was killed in the Boer War.
That's what we were all supposed to think. Raffles might well have died, but it appears that his flesh took on the identity of Stanley Bullard.
Touché, Mr. Holmes.
So the case is closed?
No. We still do not have the real diamond.
Surely Bullard has it.
I think not.
He's the most notorious jewel thief.
Retired, I believe, as I was meant to be.
Stanley Bullard, you are under arrest for murder and for the theft of the Star of Africa.
You're making a mistake.
Come along quietly
I didn't.
Let's not make a fuss.
I have discovered that your entire background is a pack of lies. Witnesses will testify that you were absent from your room for 7 hours on the night of the murder. And your victim identified you himself. The scrawled letters S-I-H are in fact S-I-B for Stanley I. Bullard. Take him away.
Come with us, Governor. We've got a nice room waiting for you.
And as for you, Mr. Holmes, your services are no longer required. If you know what is good for you, you will tell me all I wish to know. Now, where is the diamond?
But he was with me on the night in question. He's been with me every night this week. You won't tell anyone, will you? It would mean a scandal.
No, of course not.
No, I'm being selfish. I must come forward and provide Stanley with an alibi. I will go to the police and tell them everything.
Lady de Bath, listen to me. Going to the police would not help. It would ruin your reputation if you admitted that you were Bullard's mistress.
Because he's an under-manager?
Not so if he were a king.
And furthermore, nobody would believe it if you provided him with an alibi, because you are his mistress.
You're quite right. What can I do?
Nothing. Nothing at all. Just go on with your trip as if nothing had happened and leave the rest to me.
What can you do?
I will have to prove that Bullard is innocent.
This is not like India. The prices of milk here. I cannot keep up with it.
No, you may not see the prisoner.
But Sherlock Holmes has given specific instruction.
Sherlock Holmes has no authority here. And neither he nor you may go within 100 yards of him. Is that clear?
Perfectly.
For prisoner Bullard, special food. Order of superintendent.
Special food for you, sir.
I'm not hungry.
Come.
Go away, do you hear me?
Now, we haven't a moment to lose.
What the devil do you want?
To uncover the truth. Now, if I'm going to get you out of here, you've got to help me.
Who in the colony has the skill to open the safe at Government House without blowing it to bits?
How should I know? I haven't been in the game for years.
But surely a man with your background keeps up with these things?
Well, what if I do? I'm not going to tell you and get some other innocent person arrested to take my place.
I give you my word, I will not give the information to the police.
Well, there is one person.
no need to worry. We won't harm you. Come on now. Come out of there. Ah, it's quite all right. Now, don't you worry. Oh, you have been crying. There's no need to be frightened at all. That's it. That's better, isn't it? Now, my name is Dr. Watson. What's yours?
Uma, sir.
And what's your last name?
Dulab.
Is Ram Dulab your grandfather?
Yes, sir.
Do you know where we can find him?
Now, don't cry. Just, I want to ask you one more thing. When did you last see your grandfather?
4 nights ago. He said he'll be back in the morning, but he didn't come back. I miss him so much.
There now, sweetheart.
Hey, go! No, this way! Yes, I do understand.
Bye-bye, Mr. Sim!
Thank you. Come on, my dear.
You're quite welcome. Yes, how much?
That would be 14 pounds, 35, sir.
That's fine. Thank you very much, Steve.
Sir, your change, sir.
We will get to the station and board the train.
Hello? Please? Take all my things off. Take them all off, please. And take them all back to the hotel. I'm not leaving.
Yes, ma'am.
I can't.
Oma, hello, dearie. Your grandfather back?
Her grandfather is not coming back. I was hoping that you would help me try and find her next of kin.
She has no kin. Her mother died at childbirth. Her father disappeared. Her grandfather's her only living relative.
I'm sorry. Do you think it might be possible for you to take care of her?
I suppose so.
Here's something to help. And I'll send a bank draft the first of each month. Mr. Holmes and I must be going now.
Bye, Dr. Watson.
Goodbye, Uma. Be a good girl.
Watson, look at this.
What is it?
Ram Dulab had a first-class ticket to Victoria Falls on the Cape to Rhodesia Railway. Now, that train leaves today, in an hour and a half, and we must be on it. There isn't a moment to lose. To the hotel, quickly. Would you please reserve 2 sleeping berths on the train to Victoria Falls? It leaves in 1 hour and 6 minutes.
I'd be glad to, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Holmes, how can you leave when you gave your solemn oath to help free Mr. Bullard?
I can assure you that Mr. Bullard will soon be free, Miss
Yes,
Langtry.
I'm calling for 2 reservations.
I thought you were going to continue with your trip.
Leaving for Victoria Falls.
I can't. I must confess everything, Mr. Holmes. I've known all along who Mr. Bullard was. Raffles and I have been friends for many years. He helped me through the difficult time when Edward tired of me. I sent him off to South Africa to get him away from Scotland Yard. And now I've come to be reunited with him, and I couldn't possibly leave him in his hour of need.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Mr. Holmes, it's too late.
What?
The railroad changed the timetable only this week. The train leaves an hour early, in 6 minutes.
Oh.
Get in, Watson, get in! Where's the driver? Go inside and tell him he's taking us to the station.
No time for that.
Get up! Get up!
Easy there, Holmes. Excuse me, has the train for Victoria Falls left yet?
Train left 5 minutes ago.
I don't know what the point is. How will we board?
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. You think you can get onto that coach, Watson?
Oh, you must be mad. I'm 58 years old. I've got a wounded Achilles tendon. What's more, I couldn't do that when I was 20.
We shall have to try another tack, Watson. Holmes, we must flag it down.
No, it'll never stop. You can't do that.
You're free to jump out, my dear fellow.
I don't think...
It must stop!
Holmes, he doesn't see us. Oh, my God!
Apparently, I was wrong. Watson, you get the ticket, I'll take care of the luggage.
Right, Hello? Anybody home there?
Yeah? What do you want?
Please wake up. I'd like a one-way ticket to Victoria Falls.
Hurry up, Watson. The train is leaving. Watson, come on! Hurry up! Come on! Make haste, Watson, or you'll be left behind!
Holmes! I'm coming!
Hurry! Come on!
I'm too old for this.
After all, my dear fellow, you are 2 years older than I.
Oh, Holmes, one of these days. Ah. Oh. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello? How do you do? Excuse me.
Excuse me?
How do you do, sir? Fine. Oh! Ah, that's more like it.
The murderer of Ram Doolan is in first class.
And how will you decide who?
We will know more in good time.
Funny-looking beasts, those zebras. Huh. They look like horses wearing striped pajamas.
Watson, your imagination knows no bounds.
What an unexpected pleasure. Signor Holmes, Dr. Watson. May I?
Please.
Grazie. Congratulations. I read in the paper how you trapped and arrested the jewel thief and murderer Bullard.
That's not exactly true.
So, what brings you on this excursion?
We are on our way to see the Victoria Falls. I am told they are a magnificent sight.
As do I. I am looking forward to them myself.
That is also your destination?
The next stop on my journey. Man cannot live on business alone. He must seek out beauty as well.
Well put.
May I take your order, gentlemen?
I'll have a pint of beer, if I may.
And the same for me.
A white wine, per piacere.
Certainly, sir.
That strange couple. You know them?
Will tell you.
Well, tell me.
No, only traveling companions, I hear. She is an Indian princess or some such.
Yes, the Maharani of Jabalpur. And he?
A Greek, Mavropoulos. A merchant, I understand.
A potential source of money for your telegraphy venture.
Yes, indeed. He is considering backing my American company with a heavy investment.
Gentlemen?
Ah.
Thank you. Excuse me, Signor.
Grazie.
Is this seat taken? Permit me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes.
Mr. Holmes? I've read Dr. Watson's stories about you back in India. You are most well known there.
You're very kind. And you, sir?
My name is Sen. Chandra Sen.
From Bombay, of course.
Yes, from Bombay. I sell textiles from there. My customers are the Indians who own shops here in Africa, you know, serving their fellow countrymen. There are many such.
Yes, indeed, like the lovely Maharani. Also a visitor from your own country, you must have a lot to talk about.
I could not approach her. She is Brahmin. I but a poor salesman. We have nothing to share.
So you have never met?
No, and I have no hope that we ever shall.
Forgive the interruption, Mr. Holmes, but I'd be ever so grateful if you'd sign my autograph book. I have the signature of 3 presidents of the United States and many other famous people. If you'd care to take a look.
Then I shall be in excellent company, won't I?
Oh, yes, and some people like to write me little salutations or sayings. John Philip Sousa wrote me, Papa. Isn't that sweet? Lily Langtry, she wrote me a quote from Hamlet.
Othello.
Oh, that's right, love. Tranquil, farewell, the quiet mind, I think it was. Let me look.
Farewell, the tranquil mind.
Farewell, the tranquil mind, that's right. And, Pablo Picasso drew me a little picture, but I couldn't make it out, so I threw it away.
There you are.
Oh, but this is only your name.
That is all you requested of me.
But couldn't you write me something more, like, elementary, my dear Amelia, or something like that?
Amelia, my dear, I think you've bothered Mr. Holmes quite enough now. Thank you for the autograph, sir.
God protect us from Americans. Now, pray tell me, which one of them killed Dulop and stole Star of Africa?
I cannot tell you now, but soon.
Mr. Holmes! Mr. Holmes, please, join us for a drink. Permit me to be so bold. I'm Constantine Mavropoulos, and this beautiful creature is Maharani of Jabalpur.
Charmed.
Isn't this trip wonderful? And Constantine has been so sweet to me since my husband died. He has taken me under his wing, looked after my business affairs, and offered me protection.
Protection?
When a beautiful, entitled woman suddenly finds herself alone, She's soon surrounded by sharks.
Yes. What are your future plans?
Simply to travel, to see the world.
Perhaps to wed along the way. Excuse me. Get out of here, boy, before I call the police. Come on, go, go, go! Shoot, shoot, shoot!
Thank you.
Did your interview shed any light on the matter?
It revealed numerous lies. Chandra Sen denied ever having met the Maharani, although we saw them together with our own two eyes.
Ah, yes, of course.
And Mr. Marconi is expecting a substantial investment from Mr. Mavropoulos. Although back at the hotel, Miss Langtry told me that the latter is virtually penniless.
Does that suggest that Marconi is lying? Or Miss Langtry?
Or that Mr. Mavropoulos is lying to Mr. Marconi.
Oh, yes, of course.
Strangely enough, not one of them asked about the recovery of the diamond.
What do you make of the Morrison couple?
What do you make of them, my dear fellow?
I've no idea if Morrison killed Ram Dulip, but I'm surprised he hasn't killed his wife.
Tickets, please.
Do you know who the murderer is or not?
Oh, yes. The one with the cobra tattooed on their chest.
Oh, in heaven's name, Holmes.
Tickets, please.
We have only one ticket, number 16. Someone went to use it but was detained. I presume that you can provide us with another.
Yes, certainly, sir. That'd be £5, please.
Ah, Watson, would you...
Oh, of course. You know, I've given all my money to Dulup's neighbor to take care of the little girl. Could you, Holmes?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Number 17. Does that mean that no other tickets were sold since this one, number 16, was brought aboard?
Yes, sir. That would be correct.
In that case, I would be most interested to know who is holding number 15.
Your ticket, sir. Thank you. Ticket, please, sir. Thank you very much. Your ticket, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Nobody in this car has number 15, sir.
What? Number 15 is missing?
Yes, but 2 first-class passengers are not in the lounge.
Chandra Sen.
Yes, and one you haven't met. Mr. Washington, he called himself, although I suspect it is an alias. He got off at the station when you gentlemen boarded. I think he was trying to get away from that lady over there.
You mean he got off to get away from Mrs. Morrison?
Well, you might say he got out of the train, but not off.
Most intriguing. How is it possible to get out of a train and not off it?
Wonderful, isn't it?
Most exhilarating. I was unaware that American presidents traveled in this fashion, Mr. Washington, or should I say, Mr. Roosevelt.
You're very good at recognizing people, sir. A regular Sherlock Holmes. I do hope I will get to meet your partner, sir, so that I can say, Dr. Watson, I do.
I am sure that Watson will appreciate it. May I ask, sir, what you are doing sitting on the front of a locomotive in the middle of the African bush?
Well, it's the best way to map the terrain and see the sights.
I read that you were going on safari.
Yes, I'm meeting my party in 2 weeks in British East Africa. Oh, but now I'm on my way to see Victoria Falls.
What mystery puts you in this odd position?
The Star of Africa, sir.
But I thought they caught the blackguard who stole it. Bullfrog.
Bullard. Stanley Bullard. However, he is innocent. I have in my possession a ticket which led me to this train, on which I expect to find at least one suspect.
Well, have you found any?
May I presume, Mr. President, to ask you for your ticket?
You mean I'm a suspect? After all, here you are, sir.
I think I may safely say, sir, you are not under suspicion.
Well, only for me.
Mr. Washington's got ticket number 11. That leaves only Chandra Sen.
He hasn't been in the lounge.
Or perhaps he's in his compartment.
This is the one.
Dear God. How on earth did you know?
Ram Dulap told us. The words he scrawled are S-T-H. The first three letters of Staga, the Sanskrit word for Thuggy.
The Tugs. I heard of them in India. Companies of robbers who roam the countryside for hundreds of years, ingratiating themselves with travelers and strangling them, stealing their possessions.
They worship the goddess Kali, tattooed that design on their chests, and killed in a ceremonial manner with a rumal. Cloth weighted with coins and tied in knots.
Precisely the way Dulap was murdered. But I thought the Tugs had been eradicated.
Apparently not.
In that case, they must have killed Chandra Sen.
No, I don't think so. If you look at the hilt of that knife, the carving is of an African design, very similar to that of the local tribes, including...
The Matabele.
Why, yes.
Ah, Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson. I'm Lieutenant Grissom, British South Africa Police. Station Victoria Falls, returning from holiday.
A pleasure. Present circumstances notwithstanding.
Lieutenant Grissom, would you mind looking at this passport?
Well, I would say it's an excellent forgery. But a forgery, nevertheless.
Excellent, no. Forgery, yes.
There would appear to be a war going on, then, between these Tugs of whom you spoke and the Matabele.
So someone would have us believe.